Welcome to Gogopreneur, where Gogo Bethke, your host, interviews badass rock star entrepreneurs of the world, figuring out who they are, how they got to where they're at, and the lessons they learned along the way so you can learn those lessons and turn it into money. Let's go get them.
Welcome back, everyone, to The Deep Dive. We're here again digging into the topics that matter for you.
That's right. And Gogo is still off enjoying her European vacation. Lucky her.
Definitely. But even while she's away, she actually tasked us with this week's topic.
Oh, interesting. What did she want us to cover?
Negotiation. She specifically asked us to dive deep into negotiation strategies.
Negotiation. Okay, that's a big one. And knowing Gogo, she probably wants us to focus on the practical side.
Exactly. Our mission today is all about actionable, real-world negotiation tips, stuff you can actually use.
And these aren't just, textbook theories. These are lessons Gogo learned herself the hard way sometimes as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, plus insights she's picked up from all those CEOs and leaders she interviews, including that FBI guy, Chris Voss.
Oh, the Chris Voss. Never Split the Difference. That book's amazing. Gogo actually has it in her Amazon store, I think.
She does. So basically, we're distilling Gogo's own playbook for you today, her go-to wisdom on negotiating.
Makes sense. And, speaking of Gogo's wisdom and playbook.
Right. Before we jump into the tips themselves, we should mention this kind of content. This is exactly what Gogo shares inside her Go Get 'em community.
Yeah, her online platform for entrepreneurs. It's pretty comprehensive.
It really is. She shares her own knowledge, brings in expert guests on, everything. Marketing, mindset, finance.
Plus the monthly live sessions, the challenges, and her team's there every week offering support. It's a lot.
It's basically the best school out there for entrepreneurs, honestly. If you're serious about growing or even just starting out, you should check it out.
Definitely. It's just gogetem.com. Easy to find.
Gogetem.com. Okay, so let's get into these negotiation insights from Gogo. First big point she makes. Negotiation isn't just for, massive corporate deals.
Right. It sounds intimidating, maybe, but it's everywhere.
Totally. Gogo uses the example of negotiating with her kids. About lollipops or ice cream or screen time.
Yes. The toughest negotiations sometimes.
Exactly. We're doing it constantly. Daily life is full of small negotiations.
And what's really fascinating, and this connects back to Voss's work, is why these strategies work across the board. It's about our brains.
Our brains? How so?
Well, the amygdala, that, ancient fear-based part of our brain, it doesn't really know the difference between a hostage situation and arguing with your partner about chores, or a client about a deadline.
Seriously?
Yeah.
It reacts the same way.
The fear response? Yeah, it's pretty similar. Primal stuff. Which means the techniques used in high-stakes situations, they translate directly to business, to personal life, anywhere there's potential conflict.
Wow. So the core insight there is your brain treats any threat, big or small, with that same kind of caveman urgency.
Exactly, which makes these tools incredibly powerful and universal.
Okay, that sets the stage. Now, Gogo is really open about how she used to feel about empathy.
Oh, yeah. What was her take?
She said the word used to give her the weebie-jeebies. Seriously.
The weebie-jeebies. Why?
Her upbringing. Eastern European, very strict. Feelings were sort of irrelevant, dismissed. No crying in business, that kind of thing.
I see. Stiff upper lip.
Totally. It got so ingrained that she admitted she was using AI like ChatGPT to literally inject empathy into her sales writing.
Wow. She knew she needed it, but it just wasn't her natural default.
Right. Which leads to a really important point Voss taught her about what empathy actually is in negotiation.
Okay, I'm listening. Because empathy can sound a bit soft, especially in business.
That's the key distinction. Tactical empathy isn't sympathy. It's not feeling sorry for someone or even agreeing with them.
It's not compassion either?
Nope. It's simply the ability to identify what the other person is feeling and then say it out loud. Articulate their emotion back to them.
So you see it, you name it, but you don't have to feel it yourself.
Exactly. Voss uses the example of sociopaths that can be great at this cognitive empathy because they don't have that filter of, guilt or shared feeling getting in the way. They just see the emotion clearly.
That's quite a comparison. But it makes the point. You don't need to feel it, just name it. Why does that work so well?
Because it disarms people.
Yeah.
It shows you understand where they're coming from, even if you don't agree. So the insight is identify and articulate. You don't own the emotion. You just acknowledge it's there.
It makes you wonder, though, why do we resist naming that elephant in the room if it works?
Good question. Maybe we think acknowledging a negative means we're validating it or making it worse.
Could be. Fear of pouring fuel on the fire, maybe.
Yeah. But Gogo had this huge aha moment here. This is where it got really interesting for her.
What was it?
Mirroring. Just repeating the last, say, 3 words someone said.
That simple.
That simple. She realized it's the easiest, lowest effort way to make someone feel heard. It instantly builds rapport and moves things forward.
Huh. So you just echo them slightly?
Yep. The last 3 words. Last 3 words.
Yeah.
Like that. It forces them to elaborate, clarify, and feel understood. It was her way to do empathy without having to feel empathetic initially.
That's a clever hack. A low-effort way to build connection.
Totally. And this leads to what Voss calls the magic wand effect.
Magic wand, okay.
It's when you proactively call out the negative emotions or assumptions you think the other side has.
Wait, call it the negatives. Like, you probably think I'm being unreasonable.
Exactly like that. Or, it seems like you feel I slapped you in the face with that offer. Or, you might think I was rude just now.
Wouldn't that make things worse?
Apparently not. Voss says it instantly diffuses the tension. When you voice their negative thought, it's like you've waved a magic wand. The negativity often just evaporates because they feel seen.
Because you acknowledge the elephant. You brought it out into the open.
Precisely. They need to know you know how they feel before they can listen properly. It clears the air.
Okay, that's powerful. Naming the negative to neutralize it.
And it sets up another favorite Gogo quote from Voss. Let the other side have your way.
Let them have your way. How does that work?
By letting them think it's their idea. Instead of telling them what to do, you ask questions. Open-ended questions. How? Questions. What questions?
So you guide them towards the solution you want, but they propose it.
Yes. You let them suggest options, and then you get to choose the best one from their list. It gives you the upper hand strategically. Voss compares it to being a batter who can just watch pitches go by until they see the perfect one to hit.
Ah, so you're not arguing. You're curating their suggestions.
Yeah.
Clever.
It's a shift from confrontation to guided collaboration, even if you're guiding them firmly.
Okay, that's a lot on empathy and framing. What else did Gogo find crucial?
Understanding conflict styles. This was another big one for her.
Conflict styles, like how different people handled disagreements.
Exactly. Gogo says the world basically breaks down into 3 main types. And knowing which one you are and which one you're dealing with is vital for negotiation.
3 types. What are they? Does Gogo fit neatly into one?
She says she's a blend, but primarily identifies as an assertive.
Assertive. Okay, let's break these down. What's an assertive like in a conflict?
Assertives are the fight type. They're driven by wanting respect, needing to be heard. Their main goal is knowing their point landed, that you understood their position.
Okay. Direct. What are their pitfalls? The mistakes they make?
Gogo admits this about herself, and apparently her sponsor, Kurt, would agree they could be too blunt, too transactional.
Like, just focused on the deal, not the relationship.
Yeah, exactly. They can forget the overt gratitude or appreciation. People might feel like just a means to an end, a transaction. That can backfire long term.
Right. So, for an assertive listening, what's a small tweak they could make?
Maybe consciously practicing gratitude during the conversation. Not just a quick thanks at the end, but acknowledging effort along the way. Softens the edges.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Build that relational capital. Okay, who's next?
Next is the analyst, the flight type.
Analyst. Sounds like they rely on logic, data.
Totally. Highly data-driven. They need information, lots of it. They can seem kind of cold, withdrawn maybe.
And their fear. What drives them?
Fear of making the wrong decision. This leads to the classic paralysis by analysis. They just keep needing more data, more time.
Ah, the endless spreadsheet vortex. What are their negotiation mistakes?
Being perceived as detached, maybe uncaring, and they hate surprises. Anything unexpected throws them off. Gogo mentioned they're dispassionate to a fault, almost passionate about being dispassionate. An assertive like her can find their pace maddening.
So if a surprise pops up, what's the trap for an analyst?
Retreating further into the data or just freezing up? They need to learn to see surprises as new data points, not threats to their perfect analysis. Adapt the model, don't shut down.
Got it. Okay, assertive, fight, analyst, flight. What's the third?
The accommodator, the make friends type.
The accommodator. Sounds pleasant.
They usually are. Very hope-based, optimistic, lots of small talk, focused on harmony.
Okay, where's the downside?
Details. They can be short on details and follow through. This focus on harmony means they might avoid difficult points, leading to what Gogo calls train wrecks later when the deal falls apart because key things were missed.
Oof. So they smooth things over too much.
And their hope-based approach means they often wait too long to raise problems. hoping they'll just resolve. They don't give others a chance to help. Gogo told a story about someone losing books for a training event.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this accommodator didn't mention the books were lost for days, hoping they'd turn up, leaving no time to fix it properly before the event in San Diego.
Yikes. Last-minute panic. Any famous examples?
Gogo mentioned Richard Branson as a classic accommodator who's learned to build systems and teams to compensate for that natural tendency.
Interesting. So, assertive, analyst, accommodator. How did Gogo use this understanding?
Well, recognizing herself as mostly assertive was step one. Then she actively worked on borrowing strengths from the others.
Right, what?
She embraced her inner analyst, started tracking data meticulously using spreadsheets, making decisions based on numbers which, as she says, don't have feelings. It helped her be more objective, less purely assertive.
Okay, so adding data to her directness, what about the accommodator side?
Gratitude. She learned that from her husband, who had a very different, more American upbringing, where positive feedback was normal. She realized how good it felt to receive appreciation, so she started consciously giving it to her team, adopting that accommodator strength.
So it's not about being one type, but understanding them all and consciously developing skills from the other styles.
Exactly. The big insight is know the types, adapt your style, and borrow their strengths to round yourself out. Continuous learning.
That shows real self-awareness and coachability. Okay, so we understand empathy, framing, conflict styles, but negotiations can still get heated, right?
Oh, for sure. Even non-hostage ones, business deals, team conflicts, they're emotional. So how do you stay calm under pressure?
That's the million-dollar question. What did Gogo learn from Voss on this?
It's actually quite simple, but powerful, Voss says. Imagine yourself staying calm.
Just visualize it.
Yeah. He points out we often mentally rehearse getting angry or frustrated. We replay the argument in our heads, getting worked up.
True. We practice the negative reaction.
So instead, Voss says, reshoot the movie in your head. Visualize yourself responding calmly, effectively. Practice it out loud. Even smile while you talk on the phone. It actually changes your physiology and tone.
Like athletes visualizing success, visualizing making the shot, not missing. Makes sense.
Exactly. It's proactive mental preparation. And Gogo also shared a super practical tip she got from Barbara Corcoran.
From Shark Tank, what's your trick?
A simple escape hash phrase. Give you some time to think about it.
Buys you time.
Totally. Lets you step away, cool down, avoid that instant emotional reaction you might regret. Powerful and easy to use.
That's a good one. Any other tricks Gogo uses?
She mentioned something her team does. If they have bad news or need to have a difficult conversation with her, they start with, I found something fascinating, Gogo.
Fascinating. How does that help?
It apparently diffuses her initial assertive reaction. It frames the difficult thing as an interesting problem to solve, rather than an attack or a crisis. Preps her to listen calmly.
Huh. That's clever framing again. Okay, and what about surprises? Analysts hate them, but they happen.
Right, Voss calls these black swans, anything unexpected that pops up. And his point is crucial. You must welcome black swans.
Welcome surprises. Why?
Because they change everything. They often contain the most valuable information, the hidden truths, the real leverage points. If you're not being surprised in a negotiation, Voss argues, you're probably not listening hard enough.
So surprises aren't obstacles, they're opportunities. Especially hard for analysts, but vital.
Exactly. You have to lean into them. Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. What does this all mean for you listening right now?
Well, we've covered quite a bit. The power of tactical empathy mirroring, labeling negatives, just making people feel heard.
Right, without needing to feel it yourself.
Yeah.
And understanding those three conflict styles. Assertive, analyst, accommodator. Knowing yourself, recognizing others, and borrowing strengths.
And then those practical ways to stay calm. Visualizing success, using that escape hatch phrase, framing difficult news differently, welcoming surprises.
These are all tools Gogo actively uses. Every day, really, in her business and life.
And they're relevant for everyone, truly. Business, family, personal growth.
Yeah.
Wherever you interact with people. Better communication, better outcomes.
Absolutely. And hey, if you want to go deeper, get more of this kind of practical wisdom from Gogo and her network.
Check out the Go Get 'Em community again, gogetem.com. It really is that hub for ongoing learning and support she's built.
Definitely worth exploring. So a final thought to leave you with. Thinking about all this, but negotiation and getting better.
Yeah.
Gogo's pretty ambitious, right? But maybe true ambition isn't about beating the other person. Maybe it's just about beating who you were yesterday.
Continual self-improvement, using these tools not just to win, but to become more effective, more understanding.
Exactly. Food for thought. Use these tools to get better, day by day. Until next time.
Go get them.
Thanks for joining Gogopreneur. Keep that go-getter spirit alive. Until next time, go get 'em.